At first glance, Crimson Desert looks like just another impressive fantasy RPG. Big battles, flashy combat, epic visuals. But if you slow things down, even for a moment, you start noticing something different. Enemies don't just react the same way every time. Combat isn't locked into clean animations. The environment isn't just decoration, it pushes back. What you're seeing isn't just spectacle. It's a game quietly built around physics, systems, and player freedom. And most people completely missed it. Today, we're breaking down Crimson Desert's gameplay, the hidden details, the design choices, and the moments that reveal what kind of game this really is. Because once you see what's happening under the surface, you won't look at this game the same way again. Crimson Desert has been misunderstood since the day it was revealed, mostly because of where it comes from. It's developed by Pearl Abyss, the studio behind Black Desert, which led many people to assume this was another MMO at its core. But that assumption doesn't hold up once you actually look at the gameplay. Crimson Desert is clearly built as a single-player, narrative-driven action RPG. The systems revolve around one character, one journey, and one evolving world, not endless multiplayer loops. You can see this in how the camera behaves, how cutscenes flow directly into gameplay, and how the world reacts to player presence rather than shared online spaces. Exploration isn't framed around efficiency or grinding, it's framed around curiosity. NPCs move independently, environments feel lived in, moments unfold whether you're there or not. This design choice tells us something important. The game isn't trying to be played forever, it's trying to be experienced. That puts Crimson Desert closer to games like The Witcher or Red Dead Redemption than anything in the MMO space. And once you recognize that shift, the rest of the gameplay suddenly makes much more sense. The first thing that stands out in Crimson Desert's combat is how unscripted it feels. Attacks don't snap cleanly into animations. Enemies don't politely wait their turn. When hits land, bodies react to force, direction, and momentum. You'll see enemies stumble, lose balance, collide with objects, or get interrupted mid-attack. Even repeated actions don't produce identical outcomes. That suggests the combat system isn't just animation-driven, it's physics-aware. This kind of design prioritizes reaction and positioning over memorization, making fights feel chaotic, grounded, and unpredictable. And that unpredictability is exactly what makes the combat feel alive. Look closely, and you'll notice that Crimson Desert's physics system extends beyond combat. Terrain affects movement. Elevation changes impact balance. Environmental objects aren't just visual, they have physical presence. Enemies get knocked into walls, slide down slopes, or fall from ledges depending on where the fight happens. This means the battlefield itself becomes part of the encounter. Victory isn't just about damage numbers. It's about awareness, spacing, and using the world to your advantage. That's a subtle system, but it changes everything. Large-scale battles in many games are just cinematic illusions, set pieces designed to look big but function small. Crimson Desert doesn't appear to do that. When armies clash here, you're not watching from the sidelines. You're inside the chaos. Soldiers fight independently. Lines break. Combat spreads vertically and horizontally across the battlefield. You're climbing structures, breaking formations, and reacting to situations that don't feel pre-planned. Importantly, the player isn't the center of the universe. Battles continue around you whether you intervene or not. That gives these moments weight. They feel like real conflicts rather than scripted events waiting for player input. Pulling this off requires complex AI systems running simultaneously, which is incredibly ambitious. And if it works consistently, it could be one of the game's defining features. Movement in Crimson Desert isn't just about getting from one place to another. Climbing, jumping, and traversal blend directly into combat. You can scale fortifications mid-battle, reposition above enemies, or escape danger by changing elevation. This tells us movement and combat are built on the same foundation, not separate systems stitched together. That level of integration encourages creativity. Instead of asking, "What attack should I use?" the game asks, "Where should I be standing?" And that's a powerful shift in design.
For those who have died, for those who have survived.
Crimson Desert's world doesn't feel static. It feels responsive. Weather changes visibility and atmosphere. Wind affects movement and environmental elements. Time of day reshapes mood and lighting. NPCs don't freeze until spoken to. Wildlife moves naturally. Events unfold without waiting for player input. This creates a sense that the world exists independently of you. You're not triggering content, you're stepping into it. That kind of systemic design leads to emergent moments, the unscripted stories players remember most. It's subtle, but it's one of the strongest signs that this world is built to feel alive.
The main questline follows Cliff's journey through the central
All of this points toward a very specific RPG philosophy. Progression doesn't seem focused purely on stats or levels. It's focused on system mastery. Understanding terrain, physics, enemy behavior, and timing appears just as important as upgrading gear. This means player skill matters. Instead of grinding for power, you're learning how the world works, and using that knowledge to survive. That approach creates deeper engagement and more memorable gameplay moments. Of course, ambition comes at a cost. Systems like these are difficult to balance. Performance, AI reliability, and consistency will be tested constantly. If even one major system fails, the illusion breaks. We've seen ambitious games stumble before, not because the ideas were bad, but because execution couldn't keep up. Crimson Desert is taking a risk by aiming this high, and whether that risk pays off depends entirely on polish. Despite the risks, what Crimson Desert represents is important. It's not trying to copy trends, it's trying to push systems forward. Physics-driven combat, reactive worlds, seamless traversal, these aren't small improvements, they're foundational changes. If this game succeeds, it won't just be remembered for its visuals. It'll be remembered for how it made players think differently about RPG design.
Or simply a vantage point to take in the view. There is much that's we'll cover our main protagonist Cliff and his story, as well as the
Crimson Desert isn't just ambitious, it's intentional. Beneath the spectacle is a design philosophy built around freedom, physicality, and immersion. If these systems come together as intended, this won't just be another open-world RPG, it'll be a statement. And that alone makes Crimson Desert a game worth watching closely.
to take in the view. There is much. And a dragon that will allow you to soar high above the world.